And welcome to Around the Ozark Spotlight. Each week we uncover the stories behind the people who live and work here in Southwest Missouri, those individuals with entrepreneurial spirit who work to better the lives of others, or put pen to paper to write books about the stories and history of the people of the Ozarks. I'm your host, Scott Meier. Today we're exploring the world again of the Springfield Symphony Orchestra. We're blessed to have a great one here. And we're with Marketing Director Kaitlyn Pack. Kaitlyn, how are you?
Hey, I'm well. How are you doing?
Excellent, excellent. And Kaitlyn, you are new to the symphony, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've just been here a couple months, started last spring, and it's exciting to get a full season started under my time here.
Well, let's back it up a little bit and let the folks know who Kaitlyn Pack is. Where are you from?
Oh gosh, I'm originally from outside of Atlanta, and did all my growing up there, and then moved here in 2019, and been happy here. Was working with the Springfield Ballet, and now I'm over here at the Symphony.
So outside of Atlanta, there's a lot of outside of Atlanta. Were you in the north? Were you in the mountainous area? Were you on the near the coast? Where were you?
I was just in the northwest suburbs, Cobb County, home with the Atlanta Braves. If you're a baseball fan, but
absolutely, yeah, sure,
yeah. So
you broke my heart. Well, you wouldn't know this because you're way too young. But when the Braves moved from Milwaukee, I was born in Wisconsin, so that was
gosh, yeah,
that was a knife in the heart. That was that was my official team back in the day.
Oh yeah.
So did you go to school in Georgia?
I did. I went to Kennesaw State University. It's a great school down there. Okay. Graduated with a marketing degree, and I also was, I think, the second year through with their music and entertainment business program that's been really growing and is in like the Billboard top programs now. It's pretty awesome.
Really? So how did you end up here in Springfield, Missouri?
I grew up a dancer and always loved dance. And when I stopped dancing, I went to the business side of dancing and then got a job here at Springfield Ballet.
Really? Of all places in the country, you ended up here in ballet.
Yeah, it was kind of it's a small world working in ballet nonprofits, and had the opportunity, and I wasn't set on staying outside of Atlanta, so decided to move over here and I love it.
Okay, so you're a dancer as well then?
Former. I don't dance too much, but just for fun now.
Okay. Well, it's good exercise, right? That's
absolutely, yes.
So that's a plus. Now, typically and historically, we've had the privilege of having the conductor Kyle Wiley Pickett on this program. But you mentioned to me the other day that he's out of the country.
He is. He right now is in China, conducting some symphony work over there, which has been really cool. And if you see him on his Facebook, he's posting all sorts of pictures. It's pretty exciting.
Well, how did he end up? I mean, is that something that conductors do? Is that a thing, or is it just something that Kyle always wanted to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Because he also, while conducting our orchestra, he conducts Topeka Symphony as well. And then a lot of times people will sub and guest different conductors from around the world. And he got this opportunity, and it's pretty exciting.
My guest today on Around the Ozark Spotlight, you're hearing Kaitlyn Pack. If you're watching us, you're seeing Kaitlyn as well. Pack, I'm trying to figure out the last name Pack. English? What is that?
I think it's kind of a melting pot, but mostly English. I might have some German back there too, but.
Okay, that's the first time I've seen that last name. Not that matters, but it's the first time I've seen that last name. So Kyle is in China. How long is he there?
He is there for, I think, 2 weeks. So he's been there a week already. So we're expecting him back for our spooky symphony in the next week or two.
Well, that's it's got to be a little scary, I guess. He's out of the country at a time when some things are going on, and in a country where some things are going on. I hope he gets back in one piece. Is he there with his entire family?
Just him and his wife this time. But we're keeping in contact with them, and they seem like they're having a great time where they are, and we'll be excited to hear all of his stories when he comes back.
Yeah, I will too. I'm sure he's going to share some with us at the board meetings. I'm 6 years into the Springfield Symphony Board, and proud of it. It's been a good ride, and it's a great group of people, and obviously I enjoy what we do for a community like Springfield. allowing them to have a symphony orchestra really second to none, I think, in mid-major markets.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're blessed with a lot of musicians in this area, and with Kyle's background coming from both Alaska and Northern California, for him to find his way into Springfield, I think, is pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of wish I was around then, but it's been cool kind of getting to know him this last year and seeing all his real brilliant ideas for the music.
Well, I don't think he's had any horn players have their lips freeze to anything, so it's a little different than than being up in Alaska. Let's talk about the season. So the season's already kicked off.
Yeah, absolutely. We kicked off in September. Our season this year is FOMO, #FOMO, which for those who might not know, it's fear of missing out. So every concert is something special that we want the community come out and see that they're not going to get anywhere else. So we started with our opening night in September, and then we had Rivers this month is still October, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then our next one we have coming up is #British Invasion. And it is a tribute to the Beatles. We're having Classical Mystery Tour come out, and they are basically impersonating the Beatles. And then they take the fantastic music of the Beatles and set it to orchestral music and add us to the back of it. It's going to be a pretty exciting show.
So October is going to be a pop show.
Yes.
Or not October, I'm sorry, November.
Sorry, November, yeah.
November is going to be a pop show. What night are they performing?
Yeah, so our show is November 11th. Let me make sure I got that right. Yeah, it's November 11th, so Saturday night at 7:30 over at Hammond's Hall.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. Are they doing a matinee as well, or no?
For this one, it's just the 7:30 at night.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm guessing most folks will recognize the music.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They'll be playing from all the spectrum of the Beatles albums into some solo work as well. It's going to be pretty much everything Beatles you could think of.
Now, one of the things that's interesting, because I get asked all the time, do they play other things other than just classical music? And I said, well, we juggle that ball every season with how many shows are going to be pop shows and how many shows are going to be classical. The beauty of classical music, other than the fact that it's so great, is you don't have to pay any royalty fees.
True.
Most, if not all, the composers are long gone, dead and buried, and were never part of ASCAP or BMI or any of those things. But, when you get into the pop music, it can be a very different world. I think we did Oklahoma a couple of years ago, and I know that was really popular, but it was really expensive. Do we have, are there royalty fees for this show, for the November show?
There are, yeah. It's definitely an added expense to our season, but we definitely think it's worth it, and we have some fantastic, community and donors and patrons who help make us happen.
Is that well? That was going to be my next question. So, because it's a little above what we would normally do, some other people have stepped forward to help out.
Yeah, we have amazing sponsors that sponsor our shows, and it's been a really popular one. We've been able to fundraise some extra money for it.
Any surprise visitors, like maybe Paul McCartney finding his way out from behind the curtain, or Ringo Starr?
I'll have to let you know. You have to be there to find out.
Now, Kaitlyn, you're not even old enough to remember the Beatles. They were an act back in the day before a couple of them obviously passed away, and some started their own other groups. So, are you familiar with their music?
I am. I definitely grew up and listening to their music and love it, and I'm excited for the show.
Well, it's a neat way to introduce what they're all about, and certainly they went through different genres. As they started with mostly pop music and road travel, and then they got into the studio. I think I'm trying to think of the dates. It was like right around the late 60s, very early 70s, when they said they really didn't want to be on the road anymore, and they wanted to do all studio work.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into the next month. So what's December look like?
So in December, we have we've had it for years. Our Most Wonderful Time is our title this year, and it's going to be all of our favorite holiday classics from over the years. And we actually have kind of 3 different shows of it this time. So we have our full concert that'll be December 9th. And then that's at 7:30, but we'll also have our free community matinee at 2, which is a abbreviated performance. Tickets for that are free for the community. You can request them through our website starting actually in the next month or so.
No, that's a sellout every year.
Every year, yes.
Every year.
And then we've also added in a 3rd show, which we're going to be going down to the mansion down in Branson. And we're going to do a full show for them on the Sunday following.
Boy, that's been in the works. That's been in the works a long time.
Yeah, we've been really looking to expand down there a little bit more, and we've been able to do some things down there. We had the Ozark Mountain Daredevils collaboration down there this August, so we're excited to go back for Christmas.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting stuff. It's fun to explore new areas and allow people to hear music that maybe they weren't aware was out there. Especially when you get down to Branson, there's a whole lot of country, music, but not so much classical music. So that'll be great for them. So, and you said Kyle will be back for all of these shows, right? He's not spending any more time in China than he has to.
No, he will be back.
Now, we talk about sold out shows. The first 2 shows of the season, how have they gone?
They've gone really well. We've had bigger numbers than we've had since the pandemic and everything. We're getting back to those pre-COVID numbers, which is really exciting. And we're only seeing more growth as we go on. Well,
that is good to hear. That was quite a time. You weren't here for that. And
I was not.
It's interesting. We were one of the only symphony orchestras that were playing at the time. I think there were 6 or 7 around the country. Went to great lengths, obviously, to protect not only the audience but the players themselves. Masks on the French horns. I mean, it was crazy the things that we did. But at the end of the day, I mean, we were still able to keep the doors open and keep people entertained. And we introduced streaming. So is streaming still a part now? Are we doing streaming to help people maybe that can't get out or a little leery or nervous about going out in the public still?
So we don't have live streaming, but we do have a new on-demand series that we started last season where it's usually about a week or so after the show, we will post the full concert video on our Vimeo page, and you can purchase the whole season for $75, or if you just want to rent a show at a time, it's $10. So it's pretty easy and accessible for anybody who wants to either relive the show or just not able to make it out to the hall.
Now, you mentioned Vimeo. That's great when you're 30, but if you're talking to people over 60, they may not have any idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of just like a video platform, kind of similar to YouTube or stuff like that. It's an online platform that we can create a video page and share our content with everyone.
So is it a pretty easy process for somebody that's not familiar with what they need to do?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's simple as, you can go to our website. We have an on-demand streaming page under concerts on our menu, and we have a step-by-step video guide to walk you through it. But it's just, you sign up, you put in your payment information, then it gives you all the access to videos, and you can download and watch them.
Is that something that you're seeing around the country that symphonies are actively doing, or is this something where we're breaking new ground?
There are some others that are doing it for sure, but I don't think it's that many. So we're kind of one of the few, and I think we have something going with it.
And how's it going?
It's going well. Yeah. I've only been a little bit in it with a couple concerts I've got under my foot, but it seems like it's a thing that people want, and we're excited to grow and see how we can use it in different avenues of getting into we started working with a bunch of senior living facilities, assisted living care places, and seeing how we can expand to get them access to those shows as well for those who just don't have the ability to travel.
You're hearing my guest today, Kaitlyn Pack. Kaitlyn, the marketing director for the Springfield Symphony. We'll be back in a moment with more on Around the Ozark Spotlight. I'm your host, Scott Meier. Stay with us.
Hey, everybody. It's Ethan and Sarah Forhetz from your favorite podcast, Around the Ozarks in 5. I'm sure you've been wondering, how can I get even more amazing stories, events, and witty banter to start my day?
Well, look no further. Here we are. Sign up for our daily newsletter. You'll have what's going on around the Ozarks right at your fingertips each weekday morning.
Yeah, just go to AroundTheOzarks.com, click on the newsletter tab to sign up.
Thanks for listening to Around the Ozarks in 5. We hope to see you in your inbox soon.
And welcome back to the second half of today's Around the Ozarks Spotlight. I'm your host, Scott Meier. With me is the marketing director, Kaitlyn Pack, for the Springfield Symphony Orchestra. And we welcomed her earlier in the show. She's relatively new to the Springfield area, but certainly not to the music provided by our orchestra. And they're fantastic players. We've already talked about that, but it's exciting when you were talking about the November show with music of the Beatles, really the history of the Beatles music. And you said ticket sales are going how for that show? Because this will air in hopefully enough time for people to buy more tickets if they're available.
Yeah, they're going great. We're expecting probably an almost sold out, if not sold out show. So
I think anytime you throw the word Beatles out there, I think people certainly in a music city like Springfield is, and this area is musically, which, by the way, Georgia, your hometown of Atlanta, is also a good place for music. But this area, it's amazing. One of the people that I work with, her last name is Presley. And yeah, her family has ties to, that Presley, the Elvis Presley. So there's so much music history. And for the longest time, and I just found this out a couple of years ago, Yoko Ono, who was married to, not George Harrison. She was married to, help me. Let's see, you got Paul. Oh gosh, I love getting older. You got Ringo, Paul, George, John. So she was married to John and was living in Branson for the longest time. Were you aware of that?
I did not know that. That's pretty exciting.
Well, have you ever heard her music?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
It's been a while, but yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, at least the celebrity is there, but the music may be a little questionable. But I mean, but what's interesting is, again, there's so much music history in this area. And I think it's really amazing that Kyle and the board have come up with a plan to introduce it to a lot of young people. I mean, folks your age, and I'm not going to go there to ask how old you are, but I'm guessing you're probably around that 30-year-old mark, one way or the other. One way or the other. Someone your age and someone with your background, or if you didn't have your background, how would you find out about or be aware of the things that we do with the symphony here in Springfield?
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's similar to from where I come in the ballet world, is we have a stigma a lot that, symphony and ballets are kind of older generations. So, but I think a lot of younger generations these days are learning about it and are starting to appreciate it as much as I did growing up. And we're seeing those younger crowds, we're seeing those younger people come out, and with social media and with other avenues, we're starting in a under 50 club called the Notables, which is an exclusive club for young professionals that we are just starting. We're doing new avenues to come in and to experience the symphony in a different way.
Well, I think what's amazing when you sit in the audience and you look at our symphony, there's quite a mix of ages of the players. And interestingly enough, I always love throwing little history things that I've learned over the years. Most symphonies in the 60s and well into the early 70s only had male players. Women just weren't part of it. And I mean, the changes in the last 50 or 60 years are amazing in terms of who is found on the floor these days.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we're really honored to have so many diverse and amazing musicians. We have some even as young as 16 playing right now. And then we've had some people who have been members of the orchestra for over 50 years. I think we have somebody who has their 55th anniversary with the symphony this year. And it's pretty exciting to have all this diverse people that come together and create beautiful music.
Well, I know we have a violinist who actually played with Frank Sinatra in Las Vegas back in the day.
Oh, that is not a tidbit I had learned yet. That's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. And it's when she told me that story, I'm like, wow,
Yeah, we have some great people that have these great stories that I've been learning as I've been here, and it's been exciting.
So let's go past December and into the first of the year. So the
Yeah,
season continues. So what's it look like in January other than cold?
yeah, cold. So in January we have our show called Romantic Vibes. So it's very much perfect for a date night or just getting out and getting away from the chaos of life. And it's going to be a really cool show based on very pastoral and just really romantic sounding music, some that's inspired by weather and all sorts of stuff. And we have guest artist John Nakamatsu, if I say that correctly. He's a great
Good
friend
job.
of Kyle's, who's a Van Cliburn gold winning pianist. And we're really excited to have him down here for that.
That's pretty cool. And it was great that you were able to say the name again.
John Nakamatsu.
Good job. That's that's a mouthful. How about February?
So February is a show I'm also very much looking forward to. It is our Space Explorer show. So featuring music based on, the heavens, the planets. We're doing the planets by the host, which is going to be really exciting. And we're also going to be projecting some astrophotography by Kyle Pickett because he's not busy enough. He has a side project hobby of being an astrophotographer.
That's not surprising at all. He's an interesting guy. He really and truly is. Now, is that going to be a classical program or is that going to be pop? Or is there a mixture
So
of
that
both?
is a classical program, actually.
It will be. Okay.
Yeah.
So no music of John Williams. Not
Sadly, not for this one, although that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, absolutely. It always is. And then the season still continues?
Yes. So in March, we have Italy travel. So it is all Italian music. And a lot of it will be things that, people know, maybe not know the names of. So you have like the Fountains of Rome and the Pines of Rome. It's going to be a really cool, almost interactive, submersive show. So it'll be really exciting.
And when does the season wrap up this year?
So we wrap up in May. So we still have 2 more shows.
Okay.
In April, we have Unfinished Business. And this is a very unique show where the music in our premiere piece that we're playing is a concerto for a bass trombone. So that's pretty unique. It's not one that's featured quite a lot, but we have an amazing bass trombonist, Denison Paul Pollard, coming to be our guest artist for that show.
Okay.
And then in May is another one of mine that I'm really excited about is we are continuing our partnership with St. Louis Ballet.
Oh,
and
there we
we'll
go.
be bringing them down to perform The Sleeping Beauty.
Excellent.
And so we started the big collaboration with them last year, or actually it's only been since April. Kind of crazy to think that's been that long, but they came down and performed Swan Lake, and then we drove our orchestra up there and played for their full performances in St. Louis, and we'll be doing the same thing in May for Sleeping Beauty.
Now, the burning question, and probably I'm the only one with the burning question, but we do have a ballet in Springfield.
Yes.
And obviously, St. Louis, a much bigger market and probably a much deeper ballet troupe. But is there any collaboration there between the Springfield Ballet and the St. Louis Ballet, or is it purely the St. Louis Ballet?
It's just the St. Louis Ballet. But here at Springfield Symphony, we are in talks with always working with them. Springfield Ballet here, I mean, we share a building, so we see them every day.
Sure.
And we've done some things in the past, and we're looking to continue collaborating with them as well.
So as a ballerina, it's not a standoff. We don't have toe-to-toe, literally toe-to-toe.
Yeah. Well, Springfield Ballet here is it's a student-based production where we bring in other professionals, but they put on the full productions. If you've ever seen the Nutcracker or their Springfield performances here, it's just as well as any other production out there from a professional company. We have some really talented people here, and we grow them to go into companies like St. Louis Ballet.
Sure. Many years ago, I was part of a group that brought into Minneapolis a group out of Russia, ballet group out of Russia that were performing the Nutcracker. We had a meet and greet prior to the performance where and I'll get these wrong because you're in ballet, I'm not, but the ballerina and what's the guy called?
Some people will call it a danceur.
The danceur,
Mhm.
the main guy. Okay,
Yes.
so the ballerina and the danceur performed some of their some of the show while we were having cocktails, and when you're that up close and personal and see how A, strong they are, B, how talented they are, and C, how focused they are, it was really quite something. I don't know if we get a chance to do that with the folks when the troupe is here in the spring, but I can only suggest that if there is a possibility to be able to do that, it really enhances the experience, because you know, sometimes you're so separated away when you sit in an audience and you can enjoy the beauty of it, but
Mhm.
you don't get to see the actual physicality of it. I mean, I think sometimes ballet actually could be a sport.
Oh, I would say it was, from my experience and my time with it. It's definitely something that's special about when we bring St. Louis Ballet up here, is because we have the orchestra and the show is featuring the orchestra. We bring the dancers and they dance in front of us,
Mm-hmm.
and so we don't have the big set pieces. We don't have the big moving parts, but we
Mm-hmm.
still have the full professional company that comes down. And you do kind of get a little bit of a different view of that. You get to see the more technicality of it,
Sure.
because while they're still in full costume, you don't have all the distractions of the big sets and costumes, which
Mm-hmm.
can be a good thing, but I think it's pretty cool because you really get to see it kind of pared down a little bit, more basic to what the truth of ballet is.
Well, I think what's interesting is sometimes we take for granted the players as they create the music, and then to put that kind of dance with the music, it just really brings everything together. And we're just so lucky in a community the size of Springfield to have the ability to provide both of those things, and really, you know, it's almost like a circle of life. There's great sports in town, there's great activities outdoors, but when you can mix music and dance, that's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, you can't have ballet without music, and so it's a pretty great partnership for us to form, and it's exciting that we can bring this music in different ways to the community.
So I'm guessing now, Kaitlyn, that since you're with the group and you're going to be here for a while, that you'll be pounding the desk every year with Kyle to make sure that we have some sort of ballet performance to go along with some of our music.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely a huge advocate for it. But I think Kyle is, and so is our community.
Yeah.
When we had them out in April, we sold off the show, and we're excited to have that and continue that.
And it's probably a great way to introduce young people, again, that are either in dance or thinking of dance, to get a chance to see that it's not a bunch of old fuddy-duds, and it really and truly is a future for them
Absolutely.
to enjoy their whole life.
Absolutely.
Well, good. What kinds of things are we doing these days to try to see if we can't get a few more 30 and 40-year-olds in that audience?
Well, as I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, is we have this new program called the Notables.
Mhm.
It's an under 50 club, so anyone 21 to 49 is welcome to join. We're having a limited kind of time this season,
Mhm.
but with it you get flex tickets for a couple of different shows that you can use however you want. We'll have special pre-concert socials, so you kind of can get to networking and meet new people, and then
Okay.
it comes with a lot of other perks and stuff like that. And we're really excited to start that program.
Well, that's exciting. Now, anybody that's listening or watching today, if they want to get tickets, what do they do?
So yeah, all of our tickets are online on our website, springfieldmosymphony.org. Always have to add that Mo in there, you might go to Massachusetts. So there's lots of Springfields, but we're the only Springfield Mo Symphony.
Right.
And then you can also call over to Hammond's Hall or visit their box office, and they hold all of our tickets there, and you can reach out to them. They're fantastic, and we can get you into the seats.
And ticket sales this year, you say, have been robust.
They have. We've been really excited to see the numbers climb and climb each year since the pandemic, and we're seeing them almost back to pre-COVID times.
Now, I've got a little bit of time left before we run out of time. I want to put you on the spot because I don't know if you've got a list in front of you or not, but for the Christmas show this year, which high schools?
I don't have that information right now.
You don't?
I don't, actually. but it'll be a surprise. We'll announce
Okay.
it soon.
Excellent. I'm sure it'll be in the commercials.
Yes.
That's great. Anything else you want to add, Kaitlyn? We're just about out of time.
No, thanks for having me on, and I hope to see you and everybody in the community at the symphony.
I'll see you at the next board meeting.
Yes.
I look forward to it. I want to thank my guests today on Around the Ozark Spotlight, also my producers Taylor Worley and Jay Stevens, as well as all of you for joining us. If you happen to miss all or part of today's program, you can find it in its entirety on the MidwestFamilySpringfield.com website, the AroundTheOzarks.com site, or our new app for ATO, which can be found in the Apple apps or Android apps. You can always also hear and view today's show as well as all the earlier shows from this year and last year. I'm Scott Meier, and remember, every day is a gift. Enjoy life.